Picture this, Christmas morning, 1988. You open your presents and you see this game staring back at you. Oh, I know this, Super Mario. I love the first one on my NES. Not that one. Oh yeah, I love this game. I cannot wait to try the sequel. Wow, this looks amazing. I could have sworn I stopped on that new Goomba thing though. Weird. Let me try this one. How could this be? Everyone knows Mario can stomp on his enemies to destroy them. I mean, just ask Chris Pratt.
Growing up, man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas in the original Mario Brothers.
So what happened? Well, for that, we have to go back to the year 1985. Nintendo had just released Super Mario Brothers on their home console, the Famicom, or the NES in the United States. And it was an instant classic. It was received extremely well, both critically and commercially, and at the same time was praised for its tight controls, innovative level design, and smooth scrolling. Wow, this game must have been amazing. You know what? It was revolutionary at the time. Remember how I said it was received extremely well, both critically and commercially? Oh yeah, that one was the important one to Nintendo, as it printed money for them, selling 3 million copies on the NES by the end of the year, which was huge at the time, and even becoming the best-selling game of all time for many years. And you know, basically revived the video game industry after that fucking mess ET created. Anyways, enough glazing. We know the game was good, people knew it was good, and Nintendo knew it was good. And most importantly, they knew it made money. The people wanted Mario, and they wanted Mario fast. And Nintendo knew they had to ride that momentum by providing more Mario. But how could they do this if it took almost a whole year to make the first one? We don't have time for that. We gotta ride the wave. And so they did. And in June of 1986, a mere 9 months later, Super Mario Bros. 2 was released on the Famicom Disk System. And it was something. Okay, I want you to tell me, which one's the first game and which one's the sequel? Ooh, you're right. It was this one. Okay, how about now? Wrong. I tricked you. None of these are the sequel. Can you see how they pumped this one out so quickly? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. Well, let's not be too harsh here. Games reuse their engines all the time, and Nintendo did it to save time while keeping everything Mario was known for. The physics, controls, visual style, basically everything that made Mario Mario. What was different was the levels. Today, this probably would have been a DLC for the game or something like that. But hey, maybe they worked really hard, so let's give it a whirl. Okay, same old Mario. Ugh, I think the mushroom texture got a big glitch. It looks weird. A mushroom killed me? Was that a glitch? Nope, it is a feature. The way Nintendo tried to justify this game being basically the same game was to spike the difficulty, as their design philosophy was, hey, you beat the first one, right?
Well, that was the tutorial for this one, bitch.
And oh boy did they mean it, because this game is genuinely one of the most frustrating games I have ever played. A ton of the traps in this game are just complete bullshit. They were made as intentional design choices that basically scream fuck you to the player for playing the first game. That joke I made earlier with the mushroom is an example of that. The first mushroom found in a question mark block in this game fucking kills you. Another gimmick are these invisible blocks that are placed at the peaks of jumps, where if you hit them, you plummet to your death. Which clearly is my fault, since I should have known that an invisible block would be there on my first playthrough. And guess what? It gets even worse with these reverse warp pipes, which instead of rewarding you for finding a secret, punish you and send you back to the previous world. Oh, and how could I forget the number of leaps of faith you have to take in this game? But you want to know what the worst thing this game does? Is that if you want to completely finish this game, you have to beat the game a total of 8 times to unlock the real ending and save Peach. Yeah, fuck that. Bowser, you can have her. Also, for some reason, Bowser is blue in this game? Ha, my bad. How could I be so stupid? This is Bowser's brother, who is not named, but fans call him Bruce. This game is torture, and I would not recommend anyone to play this for fun. For this video, I wanted to beat the game just so I could say a dumb joke about how Nintendo thought I was bitch made, and I proved them wrong. But no, this game kicked my fucking ass. And I wasn't the only one frustrated with this game, as even Nintendo of America's product analyst, Howard Phillips, who instantly approved the original Super Mario Bros. Game, absolutely hated the sequel. As I continued to play, I found that Super Mario Bros. 2 asked me again and again to take a leap of faith, and that each of those leaps resulted in my immediate death. This was not a fun game to play. It was punishment, undeserved punishment. I put down my controller, astonished that Mr. Miyamoto has chosen to design such a painful game. So yeah, he hated it. He felt as though the game was way too punishing to be fun, and the tricks it pulled were just unfair. So he told his boss, Minoru Arakawa, Hope I didn't butcher that. No, yeah, dude, this game sucks ass. Which was enough for Arakawa to pass on releasing the sequel to Super Mario Bros. Whoa, you're not just passing on releasing a sequel to a random game though. This was a sequel to the best game on your system. You can't just not give the people what they want. The world wants more Mario. Nintendo of America needed the sequel to Mario, as not only were players expecting it, retailers were also expecting it, as the first one sold like pancakes. The problem was that the sequel in Japan provided was way too difficult and would most likely frustrate players and could possibly even hurt the brand's image, which they had just fixed from the earlier crisis. So what do? Plagiarism. Well, not really. You see, in the year 1987, a large Japanese media event called Yume Kojo 87 was being hosted by Fuji TV. It was basically an event where anybody could submit ideas to the station that could then be turned into TV segments, merch, any of that sort. Nintendo, being the growing company that it was, wanted a piece of the cake and decided to create a family-friendly game to help promote the event. They wanted to make something anybody could play, even the most casual of casual players. So led by none other than Mr. Miyamoto himself, they released Doki Doki Panic. A game where two kids, Pokey and Picky, are kidnapped by the evil King Mamu by sucking them into a storybook. It is your job now to rescue them from the evil King Mamu, who for some reason is weak to vegetables, but not stomping on their head. You play as one out of the 4 characters available who were also mascots of the event. First was Imagine. He was the balanced character, the jack of all trades if you will. Next was Mama, who can jump higher than anyone else. Third we had Lena, who can hover if you hold jump. Finally we have Papa, who although can't jump as high, is the fastest out of all the characters in the game. Doesn't this sound so familiar? No? Maybe I should show you gameplay from the first level. Not only was this game turned into what we know as Super Mario Bros. 2, it initially started off as a prototype for the sequel of the game. It was originally built as a prototype for the game, but then was redesigned into what is known as Doki Doki Panic. So what did Nintendo of America do? They made a ROM hack. Isn't that ironic? Their answers to the Mario sequel was found within Doki Doki Panic. Not only was it developed by most of the team that made the first Mario, the event was over. Doki Doki Panic had served its purpose, and with a fresh coat of paint, it found a new purpose as Super Mario Bros. 2. Imagine it was turned into Mario, Mama to Luigi, Lena to Peach, and finally Papa was Toad. What wasn't changed though was their attributes, such as Luigi's high jump, Peach's float ability, Toad's speed. Ironically enough, these abilities are still what the characters are known for in the current Mario games, such as Super Mario 3D World. Another thing they added was a run button, which I was surprised was not available in Doki Doki Panic. The evil Mamu was changed to Wart. Yeah, it was just a name change. Title screen is different, of course. And yeah, some really good changes were made. All in all, they changed an insane amount of things to fit the Mario aesthetic, such as hearts being mushrooms and taking hits makes you small. What they didn't change was everything else. They kept the same levels, same enemies, same bosses, and even the same music. The iconic overworld theme of Super Mario Bros. 2 was originally composed for Doki Doki Panic. It's insane to think about, but this version of Super Mario Bros. 2 is the version with the most influence. I mean, just look at some of the things that originated in this game that are still to this day used in the franchise. Shy Guys, Pokey, Sniffits, and even Birdo. Just don't read her description on the instruction manual. I mean, what did the original Super Mario Bros. 2 do besides piss people off? I mean, I guess there's Bruce, but he's been unemployed ever since. Out of the 2 versions of the Super Mario Bros. Sequel, the USA version was clearly the more influential one and the more successful one, as it sold more than double of what the JP version sold, selling 7.4 million copies while the JP version only sold 3 million copies. So, did we ever get the original sequel Japan got here in the States? Yeah, we actually did, with Super Mario All-Stars Collection in the US, which included it as the Lost Levels in a remastered format. But we wouldn't get the original version of it until 2007 through Nintendo's Virtual Console. It's even available on the Switch, so if you want to suffer, give it a try. So we got the JP version of the game eventually, but did Japan ever get our Super Mario Bros. 2? Yeah, they did. They just simply called it Super Mario Bros. USA. Both of these games were successful in carrying the momentum the original game had, and I believe they both had a great impact on the franchise to this day. But would Mario have kept his momentum if the original sequel was released in the States? Who knows? But what I do know is that there isn't a clear winner when it comes to these two. Just kidding, the US version is way better. Fuck this game.